And we are live. Hello, everyone. I am the Atheist Ranger. This is my April sub hangout. Guess a lot of people are busy tonight. Just have my friend here, David, although he does go by the name Bullinator on YouTube. And I was just telling David, Google Plus going away has really taken a hit on my sub count. I mean, not my sub count, my view count, and also adding people. Because now I have to learn people's emails now, and that's a pain in the ass. But how are you, Boo?
I'm okay. Just I was just in a chat with over on Look at Pigs UDSA Discord server with a bunch of people, and they were kind of shocked about what we were just talking about before we went live. And
Oh yeah, the Emperor Atheist BS.
The Emperor Atheist BS, yeah. And to me, if somebody's got if certain individuals, and I'm not going to name names while they're live because it's not really my place to do so. If they're going to make it about them and the color of their skin, that's pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, it has nothing to do with the color of their skin. It has to do with the fact that he said those bigoted statements.
Right, and then he tried to backpedal in one of the worst ways possible. So.
Yeah, but I really didn't get the whole statement that he said about when I lose friends, my bank account goes up. Like what the fuck was that?
I don't know if he's trying to say that his bank account isn't dependent on his viewership. I think that's what he might have been trying to get at, but that's a strange thing to say, because if you're dependent on YouTube for your income, obviously if you're not getting views, you're not getting income because ads aren't hitting your channel, etc. So
yeah.
I can't even monetize, so it's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, neither can I. Yeah, to anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, apparently Emperor Atheist said something along the lines of he does not condone homosexuality, and in fact, he doesn't think gay men should not even be around kids.
Yeah. And people are saying, well, we took it out of context. No, well, we didn't. He didn't include the context. It's really hard to take something out of context if the context isn't provided in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, if you meant you don't condone kids seeing half-naked people walking around in pride parades, or even naked people, I've seen that before in pride parades. But that doesn't mean that all gay men are out there half-dressed looking for kids to diddle. That's not what it means. And that's what he implied.
And most people who are naked at a pride parade anyway, I'm pretty sure get fucking arrested.
Yeah, because the decency laws of the Commonwealth or township or city or whatever apply. So you'd have to have like a permitted area where you could hang out naked if you had that at all.
Yeah.
And it most certainly would not be including children.
Yeah. It's a shame though, man. I really liked a lot of what he had to say. I liked a lot of his Bible studies.
Oh, I did too. I have a lot. That was what hurt the most. And I as much, Kyle said that. Shannon Q said that. We were basically, and I felt this way. I was like, this is somebody who I respected before this happened.
Same here.
I even considered him a friend to a point. Like, he's somebody I would have gone to if I had needed backup on an issue with, say, a theist who was being a particular pain.
Oh, you still have me, David.
I know. I know, and I love you, but at the same time, it's, it felt like somebody stabbed me in the back when he did that. It's like, what do you mean you don't condone it? Do you know how many people in this community are at least bi?
Exactly.
Are part of the LGBTQ plus community? You know how many people you're talking about? I don't think he did. I don't think he realized how many people were part of that community, and it just. And then he has the audacity to say he's not homophobic. He's got a daughter who's in the community. That's a lame. That's like saying I'm not racist because I have a black friend.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, well, your daughter's not here to kind of talk for herself, so we're not going to sit here and assume she's okay with it.
Right.
Oh, speaking of more dumbasses, I'm sure you've seen the video responses. I was going to make one, but I figured, what's the point? I think Rocket Ronnie and G-Man apparently made videos about how atheism's been defeated online. Like, oh my god! I couldn't stop laughing.
Those two clowns, man.
Have you seen the videos?
No, I haven't. I've made it a really big point not to pay attention to G-Man, and I haven't really watched much of his stuff in probably about 6 months. So catch me up, man. Catch me up.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I used to be like a how can I say this? Very, very, very funny. I used to be like a G-Man addict. You know what I mean?
Noticed. I did notice that.
Yes, I used to be like a fucking G-Man addict. Oh man.
When we had our patron hangouts, when you had your patron going, I was like in the patron hangout, and I was like, it was like this basically, but
yeah. So imagine my freaking. You know what? I was a little happy when he came to that one hangout. I was super, super happy. Like if I wasn't tired, I would have stayed live like a lot longer. But yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna show the video. Hopefully, other people will show up here. Tell you, man, freaking Google Plus is killing me, or getting rid of Google Plus is killing me.
Well, Packard, I don't know. He does he come in a lot, or I mean, I know you do Packard Pokes out with him.
Yeah, the podcast is on a hiatus apparently because of his work. You know what? I'll do True Empiricisms first because technically he made the video first. G-Man was just riding on his coattails. Hopefully Google Hangouts won't go away or else I'm screwed.
Oh, there's other options.
Okay, good. Because Google Hangouts is the fastest way I do these things.
Oh yeah, I'm sure YouTube will come up with something to replace Hangouts for this.
Yeah. I'm going to present to everyone here.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently this is Ronnie's video. And it is fucking hysterical. At least to me and many other YouTubers.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm not even going to check the audio on this one. I can see the green bars moving here. Sometimes, even when the green bars move, I go to the live feed, and I've had no audio. If I don't have any audio, I'll just remove the video, and I'll do the Hangout again tonight. I wanted to make this video because I had been getting some remarks from some people going on a while now why I'm not really active here online. There's a lot of reasons why I'm not active here online that I'm not going to get into because it's nobody's business. Just personal things that I got going on. But one of the reasons that really discourages me from getting involved here on YouTube is the fact that I feel like everything that I needed to say has already been said. At this point, there have been probably thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who have listened to my arguments from my channel to various channels that have been on here on YouTube, because I've been on quite a few. And I feel like everything that I've needed to say has been said already. And at this point, really all I'm doing is trying to campaign to try to direct more attention my way. And I feel like that's not necessary. I think that the content that I produce, for example, the series of videos that I do in regards to Matt Dillahunty and the Atheist experience, I devoted more attention towards the Atheist experience at Matt Dillahunty than I think any other person online. As far as I've seen, I have not seen anybody produce as much content as I have in regard to the Atheist experience response.
Probably G-Man. I think G-Man may have produced more material against them than you, but again, I'm not going to say it don't count.
To their argumentation. And when I look at the contents that I produce, there's a lot of other ideas that I have in regards to different statements that Matt has made in his debates with people. But really, all people have to do at this point is backtrack his statements that he's made and see that the guy's a very inconsistent man. That, as Debacle puts it, he's got the gift of gab. He doesn't say anything. He just.
Oh wow!
Did he just say Matt Dillahunty was inconsistent?
Yeah, he said he's a very inconsistent man, and according to his friend Debacle, I don't know if you know who Debacle is.
But, I do.
Okay, he's got the gift of gab. He doesn't say much. I'm like, what universe do you people live in?
This coming from you, Ronnie, is the pot calling the silverware black. Literally, it's the pot calling this, because Matt Dillahunty is probably one of the most consistent people I've ever heard in his positions. So,
that's like calling the cracker white. I swear,
it's ridiculous.
Like, he's very articulate, but he doesn't really say anything. He doesn't bring up any legitimate arguments for his position or really refute anything in regards to Christianity.
That is a fucking lie. Just ask your pal G-Man. He thoroughly debunked slavery in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what? This guy is super boring, so give me 1 second and I'll bring up G-Man's video, because at least G-Man has an exciting voice.
Albeit an annoying one, yes.
Seriously, I mean, Ronnie sounds like you should be fucking working in a goddamn museum. And here you see over here, we have the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, please, don't do that to those poor people who have to record that stuff. At least they try.
Yeah, that's true.
So Matt Gilmore came in for a couple seconds and left. The whole hangout, no less.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I posted all over Facebook. That's pretty much the only other social media I can perform this at.
I can post it on Facebook too, so that somebody.
Well, I mean, I posted in the non sequitur in the Geek Room chat. I mean, I put in the groups. Sorry.
Did you put it in the Great Debate community?
Actually, I did not. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Just post the watch link. Don't post the actual Hangout link, please.
Oh, come on. I know better.
Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure.
I'll tweet it too. Yeah, I know better.
Okay.
We do not want to be porn bombed or sniped.
Actually, it's a good thing you're in here, because I've been meaning to talk to you about maybe making a video, at least on my channel, yours, about living with autism.
Now that I'd be up for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we could talk about it after we respond to this idiot. Or what we can say.
Oh my God, it actually works. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. Today, I want to actually piggyback off of a topic that was brought up by true empiricism. Not necessarily talking about the exact same things, but maybe add a little bit more to what has been said. There are a lot of people right now, well, not a lot, but there are some people in our community that's trying to resurrect a lot of these, a lot of what atheists were doing on here before I got here online and before atheism was pretty much debunked here online.
Wait, what? When did this happen?
That was going to be my statement. Like, wait, atheism was debunked. Citation needed.
Exactly. When did this happen? I've been here just as long as you, G-Man.
I myself have not, but I have heard a lot of stuff that's been said to him.
No, I mean, well, how can I say this? I've had my channel for 4 years, but I've only been making content for 2.5.
Oh, well, that's my point. Like, I haven't even been doing that much inside the community for. Like, I joined the Great Debate community just before the fiasco with Steve and Dragnaut and them. So that was about a year and a half ago at this point? Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That statement took me off guard.
But before we really get into that, let's just go briefly into the history. A lot of you out there know, and if you don't know, you're gonna know now, that before Christians really knew how to answer a lot of the objections that atheists were giving online.
You don't. What do you mean you learned how? You don't. We hear the same crap every time.
It was changing the mind of a lot of people, and it was causing them to doubt their faith and ultimately give up their faith.
Good.
And it was mainly because nobody knew how to respond to the things that they were saying. Like, for example, they would ask you, where's the evidence for God? They will be, and their bazookas and everything and whatnot.
Yeah, those perfectly valid questions.
Like that whole thing about the evidence. Like, where's your evidence that your God exists? That's
actually, wanting you to provide claims for your evidence. That crazy debunked stuff.
They'll be loaded up with the arguments that with logical fallacies. They'll say that we don't have any good reasons. They'll have all kinds of arguments, and they'll claim that science is on their side. And things like that and whatnot.
Well, it's damn sure not on yours.
Wait, science doesn't take sides. It draws conclusions based on facts. That's all science does.
Exactly. It doesn't have sides, but even if it did, it's clearly not on yours, or else intelligent design would be taught in fucking schools.
Well, they had a whole court case about it. They said no intelligent design, no creationism in schools. People still trying to get around it, but they said no. I think that was in Delaware, wasn't it?
But
it might have been.
The reality is that was about 10 years ago here online. The glory days of atheism on the internet is all but over. There are some people in our community that has a hope that they can bring back the dominance that these people had online. Again, obviously the atheist experience hasn't woken up to the reality of the situation. Bionic dance is another. And then
What situation? The situation you've made up in your head? That you and Ronnie have made up in your head? What situation, sir?
Yeah, like, there's a reason you're not part of the discussion, G-Man.
Why do you think no one talks to you anymore? Because we caught on to your bullshit.
Right.
And it's really gotten to the point where you just say whatever crazy thing you possibly think of.
And maybe that's why he thinks something has happened, because nobody's talking to him anymore. Nobody's challenging him anymore because he thinks so. That's why he thinks he won. No, you lost. That's why we don't talk to you.
Exactly. You come up with literally the dumbest arguments. And it's not just G-Man. Like, people like Red Pill Religion and Deflating Atheism are the same way. They act like we've never heard their arguments before.
And they've literally been saying the same thing for years at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Red Pill Religion, I'm just going to call him what he is. He's an atheist bigot, first of all. But that's another video for another time.
Oh, he's a piece of
They're
work.
not
Oh, yeah.
secular show. They actually believe that people are falling for that nonsense that's going on that YouTube channel. But I'm going to
Wait. Pause it, because
Yeah.
How many subscribers does G-Man have right now?
12K.
This is his G-Man channel?
Yeah, this is G-Man channel. It's 12K.
Okay, it was up to what? About 20K at one point?
No, I mean,
No, his channel was up there. He was up to about 20,000 subs at one point.
I didn't know that. I mean, this is the 12K is honestly the biggest I've ever seen him have.
Okay, I could be wrong about it then. Let's see here. YouTube.com/non-sequitur show.
And you know, like 99% of those 12,000 are like fucking atheists tuning
Trolls.
in. Exactly.
They're okay. We have almost 29,000 subscribers. How long has this particular video been up?
3 days.
3 days, and has 575 views.
Yeah.
Our Red's Rhetoric video that went up on our channel 19 hours ago has 5,000 views.
Nice.
So don't tell me people aren't quote unquote falling for it. No, they're listening to it because it's compelling content. They want to watch it. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it's informative. That's why people are watching our channel.
And it's not even to convert people, first of all. So why would you even frame it like that?
No, we're not there to convert people. People are going to have their opinions, and the discussions we have are there, but the Saturday night fights are just to poke fun at flat earthers. That's the whole point of it. So,
oh yeah.
going to be virtually impossible for people. I'm sorry, for atheism to go back to their heyday or their glory days. And for starters, many of these atheists were just doing that because they wanted a medium to vent, and then two, many of them just wanted to normalize atheism, and they did a great job. Atheism has been normalized to a lot of people.
Good.
They got content with normalizing it to a lot of people. And what has been normalized? I believe what has been normalized here online in our society today is that atheists are jerks. They think they know everything. They come across as as being these disrespectful people. That's what's been normalized.
No, just I don't even need to explain. Just no. Wrong, sir.
Your projector is so close to my skin, it's burning my skin, G-Man.
You know, I feel like a hook should come out of this point in the video and just drag him off the screen.
It isn't so much that there are people out there that claim they don't believe in the existence of God. It's just that they've normalized.
It's not a claim. That's what we don't believe in. Sorry if that offends you.
The fact that they're jerks, and they think that they're better.
Coming from possibly the biggest Christian jerk on YouTube, that's saying something.
Better than everybody because they think they're smarter than everyone else.
Who says this? What atheist anywhere says I'm smarter than everyone? Name one, sir.
But the reality is, I think and I can name the people. Unfortunately, some of the people on here have changed their focus. But there's been a lot of people who I believe when we stand before Almighty God, that God is going to commend for their sacrifices and their hard work, or getting on here. And whether you did a little bit or you did a lot, I think God is going to compliment those people who put the work in to show the folly of these atheistic worldviews. I noticed that Sabella's watching, for example. Well, her
Okay, yeah, this is just boring. Yeah, just wow.
Yeah. I find it funny he brings up the non sequitur show, because we don't like I was telling the people in Discord, we don't actively promote G-Man. Like, we go out of our way to not talk about G-Man, not bring up his content at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. And the funny part is, before it blew up on YouTube, because Kyle didn't actually want to do YouTube at first. He was doing just a podcast, because it goes out as a podcast too. And so they were going to have G-Man be part of the non sequitur show to talk specifically about Black Hebrew Israelites, because that's the one thing G-Man does know, is Black Hebrew Israelites. I'll give him that. But he screwed that up. That same fall, he screwed that up when he started going after Jade. He started acting like a jerk about the whole LGBTQ thing and homosexuality. And it seems to be a lot of that going around. And it just, in my mind, it's like, you could, maybe he brought us up because he's kicking himself for screwing up his chances with it. I don't know.
Oh, man. Seriously, I used to be like a G-Man addict, and I just stopped. I'm like, you know what? He's not saying anything new. Maybe I'll come back in a couple months. Came out a couple months later, he's still saying the same stupid shit.
Yeah. I haven't been paying attention to him since last June, basically, and I've looked in on Dragnut's Hangouts a couple times, and he's still talking about the same thing, and so is Dragnut. So it's kind of played out in my head. It really is. I'm done with it. I don't really want to talk about, like, coming in here and us talking about it is different, because we don't talk about that much anyway. We needed something to talk about, so we don't talk that often, I should say. So it's different. We're catching up, but at the same time, is that Grampy Lobster?
Yes, it is.
At the same time, it's just not that interesting. So
yeah, G-Man has definitely outlived his entertainment purposes.
Yeah, the Lulz cow is dry.
Time to find a new one.
Lulz cows never go dry, man.
Oh, speaking of dry, everyone, Grampy Lobster.
Hey, what's up, man?
No, not much. How are you?
Oh no, I just not much. I came in kind of late. I haven't really heard your opinions on the old Emperor Atheist thing. I was kind of wondering, because I knew you were friends with him.
Oh yeah, I am subscribed to that fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just kind of curious, because I knew you guys had been friends, and that he had been on your show or something and a while back. And
He was on my channel, I think, one time.
oh,
But yeah, I did follow him quite a bit. I watched most of his videos, especially his Bible study videos. But when I saw what was going down, I'm like, no. And again, I even let I let all the drama unfold. But when I saw him pretty much write down that he doesn't think men who are gay should even be allowed around children, that's when That's when I liked it.
Oh, did he say that too?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, because I knew he said that the thing about the 11-year-old at the gay parade, at the Pride Parade, and which, you know, I've known, and I don't know if this is going to upset people, but I've known people that, and I do know people in the LGBT community. I've got family members who do not go to Pride events anymore because of the way certain people act, right? Like I've got family members who have been going to Pride events since like the 80s. You know, just trying to get their rights and trying to get involved, you know, the stigma taken away. I mean, I remember when if you were gay, a bus driver, you could get fired because you were around kids, right? But some of the Pride parades, Pride events are not quote unquote family friendly. So I thought maybe that's the way he was going with it or something like that. I didn't really pay attention to enough of it because I never really, follow him or anything like that.
I mean, look, there's some Pride parades that are like that, but sure. I mean, sure, you do have some Pride parades that are, I'll use the word adult themed, but the colossal majority of them aren't. In fact, I'm thinking about going to one in Massachusetts this Saturday.
Where at?
Northampton.
Oh, okay. I don't really.
Yeah, it's called the No Hope Pride Parade. But unfortunately, my car's kind of being a bitch right now, so I got to get that fixed.
Fine. I'm stuck until the first.
Yeah. But anyway,
I could start a fucking GoFundMe like some people do. My car don't work and all this shit, and you give me money and everything, and I'm like, my car don't work till I have money.
Yeah, I only do those kind of things if I'm like really fucking desperate. And the only thing I have on my channel is the PayPal, which, again, if people want to, probably should have put that in the link actually. But if people want to donate to my PayPal, go right ahead. Yeah, I'll do that at the end of the show. But anyway, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was thinking about going to my first Pride parade this Saturday if I can get a bus down there.
Yeah, I remember when Pride parades used to get raided and busted. I have a sister that has been out since so I found out 1981, and she used to have a picture. She used to have a shirt, like a polo shirt that said "All American Dyke," right? And
Sure.
she was like
Nice.
what a lot of people would call a militant. You know, my father called her a militant Leslie, which I thought was funny as fuck because I'm like Leslie. I haven't heard that term Leslie since I was like in junior high, when most kids didn't know what a Leslie was. You know?
Wow.
That's an old one. That's an old.
Yeah, because and then like when I have my sister when she brought her partner a long time ago over when I lived in Oregon. I was just asking my dad. You know, me and my wife were asking my dad. We're like, so what do you think of this new partner? He goes, because she rode a Harley too, right? And she's, more of a male, or I won't say male, but more of the
Butch is the term you're looking for.
Butch. Yeah, that's the term I'm looking for, right? So I'm like, hey, Dad, what do you think of this new gal? And he goes, she's a hardcore Leslie. It's like, if I would have had coffee in my mouth, I would have spit it out because I was like, I've heard the term Leslie. Oh yeah, hardcore.
Hardcore, not
Hardcore.
not a soft lesbian, not sort of a lesbian.
Oh no, not your, because we don't like the homos, but we do love some good fucking lesbian action. You know what I'm saying? Because he liked that porn stuff, so he wasn't gonna, That's what gets me about a lot of homophobes and stuff. You know, they hate the gays, right? But they sure love them some lesbian porn.
Well, to be fair, who doesn't love lesbian porn?
Well, yeah, especially down in the Bible Belt.
I mean, even straight women like lesbian porn.
Yeah. But no, I wasn't trying to derail your conversation. I just,
Oh,
how
no,
you
no.
doing, David?
I'm doing okay. I mean, other than being broken because it's end of month and I'm waiting for the eagle to land. I'm okay.
Yeah.
We are 1-3 broke motherfuckers.
Yeah, I gotta call a mechanic tomorrow. Have my car towed, actually.
That is a good name for a podcast. Three broke motherfuckers.
So you're giving up on G-Man?
We were just well, according to him and Rocket Ronnie, aka True Empiricism, they think that atheism has been defeated. Which
Right.
apparently this is news to us.
Oh my god!
I wanted a citation. That's
Exactly.
And I just woke up from a nap because I'm on pain medication and stuff, and I was like, I wish somebody would have woke me up and told me,
I know.
Gee whiz. I love that whole thing about atheism has been defeated. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
What are we, samurai warriors now?
Yeah, it's like, no, I still don't believe. I still believe all religion is bullshit. Guess I'm losing. Sore loser, huh? The only reason why I listen to G-Man anymore is because of Dragnot.
Same here.
I love.
And I was just saying that's kind of played out too because Dragnot's been talking about G-Man for about 7 years at this point.
I think it's been 10 years.
Well, it's been a while, regardless. Yeah. And it's like you're still talking about the same things. He doesn't believe in evolution, and evolution is true. Well, okay, that's not new anymore.
Yeah, but you kind of keep it fresh a little bit, with different spins.
Yeah.
It's the same way like when we fuck with Von Helton. I mean, if you're a lolscow, you milk it until there is no fucking nothing left in the teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh God, Von Helton. He was on the Geek Room a couple of days ago.
I watched that. Oh my God, I didn't know Frankie sent me a link, and I didn't know because I was laughing so hard.
I wish I would have been able to go because I would have laughed. Because the first time I ever talked to Von Helton was when Steve had the debate between Von Helton and the Geek Room. Which is how I found out about the Geek Room in the first fucking place. I think you were on that show too, Grampy.
Yeah.
And he talked about the military, and I was like, I know he's full of shit about being in the military.
Well, he's threatened to turn me into the military, just like he did Navy medic, for talking about his military career.
Oh, you mean his stolen valor? Yeah.
That's not even stolen valor. I mean, goddamn, he's so fucking retarded. Don Shipley wouldn't even have anything to do with him.
I slept in my tank. The fuck you slept in your tank? You know what they do if they catch you sleeping in your tank?
Yeah, first of all, you can't because unless you're in the field, the tank is probably in the track. We call it a track park, right? There's a guard there at the track park. If you don't have business in the fucking track park or the wheel park at the end of the business day, you don't go in there.
Right.
You just don't. Right. Unless it's the winter time when we used to have to go out like every few hours to start up our vehicles because it would get so fucking cold.
Right.
That's literally the only time, because if your training purposes don't call for being in your fucking vehicle or being at the track park, you don't go, right?
Right.
You can't just wander all willy-nilly in there and, cozy
and
up
and fuck around inside your tank. No, they don't let you do that.
No. But then he was gonna...
His tank commander would have thrown a fit if he'd been caught. Like, seriously. Yeah. If I was the officer of that tank, I'd have been like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. You're not going to be doing anything unauthorized in this vehicle.
Well, that's why he didn't stay in the Army. I think he had grandiose ideas, some romantic vision of what being in the military was going to be like,
Hate to disappoint you, but most of the time it's doing shitty details for shitty pay.
Yeah.
That was my experience.
You're always getting ready for the next inspection.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
and
painting stuff and then stripping it down and then painting it and then washing it, then painting it. You know,
I've only watched the first 10 minutes of of yesterday's Von Helton thing, and oh my god, that dude is such a. I didn't know how big of a conspiracy theorist he was because he started talking about how I think the Reagan administration put I guess lasers that could blow up a
Oh, yeah.
state or something like that.
he thinks Star Wars was real.
Oh yeah, that's what he was implying.
The
Yeah,
Star Wars program. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It was an idea.
they got shot down pretty fucking quick.
Yeah, because it was really shitty.
Yeah. I you know, but yeah, he's threatened to turn me into the military, threatened to turn me into welfare. For what, I don't know, but I mean, I might be poor and I might be on disability, but I make too much to qualify for literally anything. So, oh, I take it back. Found out one day that my wife and I, if we applied, we could get like, I think it was $9 in food stamps. You know?
Oh joy!
Yeah, and we're like, well, fuck that. You know? I mean, I think we did 1 month. We called it our coupon. You know, and then it was like, fuck. You know, there's got to be somebody else that needs it more than we do. You know?
Oh yeah,
But-
that's pretty much why I stopped because I know if I went through all of it, I would only get because I had I got a full-time job at the time, and even if I went through all that BS again, I knew I was only going to get $15 a month. I'm like, I'm not doing that for $15 a month when other people need it.
Yeah, I mean, people with kids and stuff, and the fact that he gets it or something like that, it doesn't bother me. But then he talks about socialism, you know, and everything, and I'm like, well, fuck me, man. You get something, you take advantage of socialist programs, or what would be considered socialist programs, because you get shit for your kid, and he gets stuff now, and he claims that he's a disabled vet,
What do you think the military is? That's a fucking socialist program.
Well, I mean, a lot of things. I mean, trash collection, police protection,
Road maintenance.
yeah, that's where a lot of like these
Ben Shapiro's.
no, the people that are, what's the, not a Republican, Democrat, what's that?
Conservative.
No, what's that party that bunch of people join because they don't like
Tea Party.
libertarians.
Oh, okay.
Libertarians. Okay.
Yeah, everybody's a libertarian. Everybody hates all these social projects, right? Unless they benefit them, right?
I'm a left-leaning libertarian. Like, I want the government to fix potholes, and I want the government to provide health care. I don't want them to invest us in wars we cannot win and never will go away. That's where I draw problems with the government. But you know what? By and large, the Democratic Republic system is pretty decent, except for this two-party system we've trapped ourselves in.
Well, yeah, because anymore, if you label yourself a Democrat or a liberal, then people presuppose a lot of shit about what you actually think.
Well, you're a communist. You're a communist if you're a liberal.
Yeah.
And you're a Nazi if you're conservative. So I mean, what's if you're a centrist, the conservatives call you a communist, and if you're a centrist, the liberals call you a Nazi. So you're the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I mean, people think that all sorts of everything, but yeah, that's why I don't identify with. I hate Trump, which if you ever go to my Facebook page, you can probably tell that.
Yeah, I noticed.
That's why I lost a friend recently. Fucking, Robbie Battle.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Speaking of politics, how do we feel about Uncle Touch-a-Lot running for president?
Oh, Biden? I don't hate Biden.
I think he's a bad choice because he's out of touch.
Yeah, he's like your creepy grandpa. Or not creepy and like he's gonna actually You know, and the whole thing about him being like a touchy-feely guy, I know a lot of touchy-feely, huggy people, right? And Ranger, I know you're probably not a touchy-feely, huggy kind of guy, right? David, I don't know about you. I've never been like a hugger, you know, and a touchy-feely guy. Some people are, and that doesn't make them creepy. It's just, you know, you can be made to feel uncomfortable. It's like, have you ever had like an aunt, some old aunt, you know, or some old relative you haven't seen in a long time, and they see you, they give you that like really awkward hug, you know?
Yeah, I was just making a joke. I really
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, I have that, and being autistic, sometimes people touching me, it's like,
Yeah.
don't stop touching me. Don't do
Exactly.
that.
I mean, I'm not autistic, I don't think, but I mean, I've never been like a touchy-feely, huggy kind of guy, right? And I understand how some people can take that, you know, but I don't think he's like I just think he's out of touch. But at the same time, I think a lot of the people that are running for president right now are just as out of touch on different levels, right? With what's reality, what's I mean, like the cows, you know, I mean that the cow farts and getting rid of airplane travel and all that shit in favor of high speed bullet trains, which to me would be more dangerous than fucking flying because trains have a fucking higher rate of crashes and but
Well, I mean, the Green New Deal says that airplane travel would be not eliminated. It would be
the Green New Deal got shot down because there was just so much unrealistic crap in it. You know, if they would have like come out with like realistic ideas, you know, I mean, to me, it's just as dumb as a lot of it was just as dumb as Trump saying that, you know, babies are born and then the doctors execute them. You know, it's just falsities. You know, it's just bullshit. You know, because they want to get elected, they have new ideas, but they don't know how to express them. You know.
I feel that we obviously have to do something because I mean, it's going to cost us a lot more money when 35 years down the line, coastal cities like Miami are either majorly flooded or completely underwater.
Well, water is already a problem in Miami right now.
Yeah, look at the Florida Everglades. You know,
there's parts that are getting flooded, and just their day-to-day life is their street is flooded.
Exactly, and again, I think AOC had a point about that. Like we're going to pay for a Green New Deal whether we actually pass one or not. Because again, 20 years down the line, Miami might be completely underwater, and how much you think that's going to cost?
Well, she said 12. You know, and
well, that was for.
But see, if people are going to make claims like that and have no sign, I mean, okay, climate change is real. I get that, but she comes across a little loopy at times. You know what I mean?
Well, the 12-year comment was for something we have to do before catastrophic change go into effect because of climate change. The Miami comment she made, I think, was just an exaggeration.
But she showed no science behind it. She, even climate scientists, right? Pretty much called bullshit on that. Not that it wouldn't happen in 12, but that's what I'm saying. If she didn't have anything standing behind her when she would say things, she read things and then took it off in a very different direction, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
I mean, I meant to look it up, but I think there was actually a study on that.
There's just nobody that is running that whoever gets elected from now on, we are in a shit show for politics. You know, we've got white nationalism. If you're not with us, you're against us. We've got people on the left that if you're not with us, you're against us. But see, that's why I used to like pork barrels, right? Because you get what you want, and then things would kind of like level out in the end. But now It's either we get everything or you get nothing, you know, on both sides, you know, and the whole banter of give and take in politics, I think, is totally fucked up.
Well, I mean, I think I just think, again, I can only speak for myself, but you know, I think most Americans just want an economy that fucking works for everyone, and we don't have that. And in my personal opinion, we've had that policy since the 1980s. I mean, even now, you have what, 77% of Americans still living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a good economy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, the middle class is shrinking. What used to be considered the middle class doesn't exist anymore. You know, people don't see the thing. Like when they say let's get rid of Social Security, let's get rid of Medicare, no Medicaid, all that stuff. A lot of people that don't want that, right? It doesn't affect them personally, right? It's like, you know, I don't give a fuck about it, so I don't give a fuck about anybody that needs that because I'm a taxpaying American and I don't want my taxpayer dollars going for that, you know. And, it's like if a program doesn't fit somebody, if it doesn't benefit somebody, they just say fuck it. I don't like that, you know. It's like a lot of people that don't want to support education in schools, right? Oh, I don't got no kids. What the fuck do I care about education? You know?
Because you live here and you don't want dumbasses running your country, maybe?
Yeah.
Just maybe might have an interest for you.
Hey, guys, just real quick, I got a comment from the chat here. It was about the climate change that you and I were talking about, Patrick. Brian Stevens says, actually, that's what the World Climate Consensus came to, but it is a misinterpretation of what it says. Then the comment below it, he says, if in 12 years we don't stop the tip, it will be catastrophic, maybe taking a century, but still catastrophic in effect.
Oh, so the 12 years is the point of no return.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, okay. I it's just when you get I can't watch a lot of news anymore, and if you watch on really many channels at all, because it's you know the only kind of news anymore, that doesn't like give their personal opinions is like your local news, you know. They'll say, oh, President Trump said this today, or so and so said this today, and everything. But if you go to any other fucking news channels, you know, they're going to tell you their opinion on what somebody said, you know, or tell you what's going on, whether it's CNN, Fox, MSNBC. I like to pay attention to news around the country, around the world, that what other countries think about this country, because, you know,
It's probably not very good.
No.
Well, and it also kind of clues you in on how well our foreign policy is working too, because most of the people in this country don't even care about foreign policy that much. They don't. They think, oh, we're getting involved in things we don't need to be involved in. That's not necessarily true.
Right.
It's not, because there's a bigger picture in the Middle East, for example, that a lot of people don't seem to realize, that has to do with Russia and the Ukraine and that whole chain of ocean or chain of seas all the way down from Mediterranean and up to the Aral and the southern port, and all that stuff comes into play. So it's more complicated than most people give it credit for. They're like, why are we monkeying around in the Middle East? We put
ourselves there.
Oil's only part of the problem, though. So
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you want to cut terrorism in half in the Middle East, stop selling weapons to Saudi Arabia.
Well, that's the biggest problem, is we don't clean up our mess. We'll go over to the Middle East for the Iraq War, for example, and we just left a whole bunch of shit there. And guess what? A bunch of people that don't like us came and picked up our shit and started pointing it at us. And that's exactly where it came from. So,
yeah, it's a shitty mess, you know.
It is.
Like, you know, people think that, you know, I support the military, so somehow I'm some kind of warmonger, you know. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, but the fact is, I support the military. I don't support what we did in the Middle East, but and I don't support like building new fucking weapons. I mean, I understand keeping up with the Chinese and the Russians. I really do, because of you know strategic shit, that is created by a bunch of assholes who think that it's okay to send young men and women to die in playing chess with people's lives. It's not like, it's not like World War II or even the Korean War. I mean, the Korean War was even bullshit. It's people playing chess with people's lives in order to make a point about world domination. It's crazy. Spreading democracy around the world, killing 50,000 people at a time.
Oh yeah, and I was just going to comment on what David was saying. That yeah, sometimes there is more to it, but I think for most Americans, it's just like we need to stop getting involved in actual wars with countries that we know are not a threat to us. I mean, you have the current administration saying, talking about doing something with Venezuela. Venezuela is not a threat to us. Syria is not a fucking threat to us. And as far as oh well, we're over there for humanitarian reasons. I'm sorry, but the U.S. government supports 70% of the world's dictatorships. So to me, that's no longer an excuse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we support Saudi Arabia. Look what they just did the other day. Support executing a whole bunch of people who were talking about democracy and going to America and going to college. And
in fact, I'm pretty sure they just executed one of our journalists.
Yeah, they just killed a guy for vaccine in what was it, Syria, I think it was. They killed a guy that was out giving polio vaccinations. I think that was Syria or Saudi Arabia, one of the two, or one of those countries. But it just, strategic locations. If we don't support them, the Russians will, and then, it just gets out of hand. With saber rattling and shit like that. What gets me is and Ranger, I don't know that you are, and all of you are, David, but we have companies besides the government and things that still support Saudi Arabia, like in wrestling. The WWE, they're going right back to Saudi Arabia later this year, right? They had a big stink about that last time, because Saudi Arabia. See, people will dismiss Saudi Arabia on so many levels because they'll throw millions and billions of dollars at things, right? So you look the other way, right? They do it to our government, entertainers, the WWE. We've got entertainers. We've got golf, pro golf over there. We've got, they have races, like not IndyCar, but like Grand Prix races in some of these countries, because they throw money at it. That's how they get away with a lot of that shit. Plus, it's a culture that we just don't understand.
Yeah, well, culture that needs to freaking change. But again, if we stop selling some of those idiots weapons, I honestly think that terrorism, at least in that region, could possibly be cut in half. Because most of the weapons that these terrorist groups are getting are our weapons.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get the weapons whether we sell it to them or other arms arms dealers sell it to them, or the Russians get it to them, or the Chinese. I mean, I don't think it's going to stop terrorism. I mean,
I didn't say stop. I think it'll cut some terrorist activity.
Terrorists are they're going to go where they can find something. If they can't get it from us, they'll get it from somebody else. I don't really think it's going to have much to do with like getting rid of terrorism if they don't find some of our fucking weapons and stuff. I mean, it's just the whole ideology of blowing people up because their God has a bigger dick than their God does than your God does, and for religious purposes. And it's like this whole thing with the bombing and at that synagogue, or the shooting at that synagogue in Poway, California yesterday, right? That was in response for the other thing. And the one before that was in a response to this. The one before that was a response to this, you know? It's like, if your God is so powerful, why doesn't he do something? Why does he need you to go shooting up fucking churches or synagogues or mosques, you know? This shows how fucking impotent, you know, their God must really be. You know, they need some screwball dickhead to go out there shooting up people in a church, you know?
Exactly.
Until you get rid of that kind of terrorism, you're not going to get rid of any other kind of terrorism. You know, religious fundamentalists doing things, you know, that, you know, it's like the whole thing, warriors for Christ, you know, all that shit. It's like, what the fuck does that actually literally mean, you know? A socialist, hippie, fucking barefoot motherfucker walking around the Middle East, right, for 33 years or whatever like that. And they get this whole warriors for Christ shit, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, who doesn't remember Bible Man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as long as the ideology is still out there, that's definitely potential.
Yeah. But, so are you moving to New York?
As soon as I get the fucking money, I'm broke.
You're moving to Albany?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the fuck is an Albany? I know it's the capital of New York, but
So would you consider Albany upstate?
Oh, very.
Okay. Just asking, because I just saw this thing that my friend in New York posted. Says, you know, upstate starts the second you leave the Bronx.
No, upstate's a little farther than the Bronx.
Yeah.
I mean, if I never step foot in any part of New York City again, you know, it will not be too soon.
Oh, I agree. Like,
yeah.
I had to stay overnight in JFK without a hotel room, mind you.
Oh fuck! I've spent about probably about 8 hours total in my life at the Port Authority in New York City. You know, the bus station, train station. That's a fucking wild place to go to.
We tried to find a hotel. I was on my way to Germany when I was we missed a connecting flight in St. Louis, so we got the next flight to JFK, and we had 15 minutes to get from the domestic terminal to the international terminal at JFK.
Good luck. Well,
if you've ever been there, you know that's not fucking happening in 15 minutes. It's just so
it's like walking across the entire Denver airport twice, you know.
Right, it's just not happening. So we missed the flight to Germany. We had to stay overnight and go to the USO and get the sergeant there to cut us new orders. So we weren't considered AWOL. But that was, you know, we tried to find a hotel so we could, you know, hang out and get a new flight in the morning. And they were all full up around there. But the drivers, the shuttle bus driver, who I'm assuming is related to taxi drivers in New York, was going like 80 miles an hour around exit ramps in a 17-passenger van. Scared the piss out of me, I swear to God.
It kind of reminds me of my first taxi ride when I was in Germany years ago. Going down to me, it was like a one-lane cobblestone road, like an alley, but it was a street, right? In this little town, and this fucking cab is like zipping around and shit. And I was drunk and just knew I was gonna die, right? It was like they thought it was a racetrack or some shit, some kind of, you know. And it's like, nah, this is fucked up, man. But yeah, some people's driving habits, you know, kind of suck. But
I will give Germany, it was very easy to get public transportation there.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, trains, man. You could set your clock to a train back then. At least I don't know about now, but if the train said, if the schedule said the train was coming at 12:01, man, it was there at 12:01, like on.
And it left at 12:01, 30 seconds later.
Yeah, and yeah.
Like if you weren't there to catch it, you missed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There was no waiting around. There was no delayed trains.
Well, that's kind of like the trains out here. I mean, goddamn, man. My wife and I, we went up to Boston one time. We missed the train. You know, we're figuring, okay, the train's probably running a little bit late. We got there. We paid for our parking, all day parking. We got there, like, and right when we got up on the platform, the train was fucking taking off. And I was like, son of a bitch. We had 3-hour fucking wait, right?
Mhm.
Which, the 3-hour wait, and, you know, you're going to spend your time in Boston for the day, but you 3 hours behind, right? And then by the time you're done with what you're doing, you know, it was just a shit show. Pretty much on time here, unless it snows really bad and the fucking tracks get covered up.
So, Grampy, just out of curiosity, do you know a lot about Albany? Because I know it's the capital of New York, and I know there's some fun stuff there to do.
Well, let me tell you something right now. You know why I hate Albany, New York? Is because I had a therapist for almost 6 fucking years, right? I had a therapist for 6 fucking years. She was a beautiful person, right?
Mhm.
And her husband took a fucking job in Albany, New York. And she had to give really short notice over at the VA that she was leaving. And there was a lot of people upset about that, including myself and a lot of administrators too. But yeah, she's like moved, you know. Last time I saw her, she goes, my husband got a job in Albany. And I'm like, what the fuck is in Albany, right? I said, you do know you're putting a lot of people at risk right now. And she goes, I'm really sorry, you know. But no, I don't know much about Albany.
Well, I mean, I didn't. As you know, I have a niece and nephew. I don't want to be too far away from them, and at the same time, I don't want to be too far away from my parents and other siblings who live down in Delaware. So I thought I'd choose somewhere in between.
Okay. What are you going to do in Albany?
Whatever I want. I've always been kind of a city guy, and it's boring as fuck up here in Vermont.
Well, yeah, it's Vermont, you know. I mean,
And
I mean,
I'm not saying that Vermont doesn't have good qualities. It's just like
yeah.
unless you're like a skier or a hunter, there's not much to do up here.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's a place where people go for a nice weekend.
When I hear Vermont, I just think of back to the Bob Newhart show from the 80s. Not the first one, but the second one. And
when he had that in?
Yeah. that's what I think of when I think of Vermont. Just people like that.
And
Like-
by the way, let me be very clear about this, because and Patrick, you know what kind of, even though I go both ways, you know what kind of women I like. It is it is WHIITE up in Vermont. Oh my god.
What's that mean?
That means it is super, super white up here.
Oh, well,
White with 2 eyes.
well, you know, I mean, some places, you know, are predominantly more of white. If you go into certain areas, places are more predominantly African American. You go to some areas, places are more predominantly Hispanic. I mean, so I mean, if that's why you're leaving, or that's why you don't like being there, to me.
Oh no, that's not that's not the reason. I was just making an off-color joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, Rangers getting off color. Oh my god.
Literally. Anyway,
Yeah, color. Yeah.
no pun intended.
No, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Not unless you want a roomie.
I don't know if Mrs. Lobster would really go for that. But no, you know, wherever you live, you know, you make it what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, where I live in Rhode Island, you know, a lot of people. I mean, I still get people going, "What the fuck did you move here for?" And I've been here long enough. I go, you know what? I know, I love it, man. It's such a shitty place. It's so shitty on so many levels. You just fall in love with the bullshit of it, the bullshit of it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I keep forgetting you live not that far from me.
Yeah,
we should do a meetup.
yeah. I mean, in Rhode Island, you know, they love politics, right? Because they keep electing people that, you know, have really shady. We've got a governor that people either really love or want to kill, or put in a boiling pot of tar or some shit. We've got people that live here and hate it, you know, but that's just who they are. It's New England is a weird fucking place. Rhode Island is not for the faint of heart.
So, just out of curiosity, it would be a very bad idea for me to go to Rhode Island with a shirt that said New England sucks, right?
No, we got a lot of Yankee fans. We got no. I mean, it's people don't give a fuck. I mean, you might get somebody that might bash you in the face, you know.
No, I was just again making a joke.
Yeah, but I mean, for you know, like with you know, going into football, you know, as many people that like the New England Patriots, it's just as many people that don't, because a lot of people come from different parts of the world in this area. You've got a lot of people that love the Patriots. You got a lot of people that hate the Patriots, right? When I lived in Baltimore, right, I've been Washington D.C. You know, in Washington D.C., even when the Redskins were really good, they were the most hated team in the Washington D.C. area because so many people were from other parts of the country. You know, Rhode Island. You know, if it's not old and broken down and decrepit and gray looking and stuff like that, they don't like it. You know, they don't like new stuff. You know, that's why we're losing our baseball team, which fucking makes me sad. After next year, I'm gonna have to go to Worcester to watch him play. You know, we got this old beat up stadium, and they're trying to get some independent soccer league to come in there to play. And I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody watches the Paw Sox. Who the fuck do you think is gonna come watch a second rate fucking soccer team? You know, or turn it into, or they're trying to get another minor league team. You know, and other places are building new stadiums. You know, they're not going to get anything, right? Because they're not willing to build. You know.
Yeah.
They like it looking like shit. You know, they want the old days with the widget factories and all those jobs that got shipped to fucking China. There used to be a lot of them in Rhode Island. If you drive around here, literally everywhere you go, there's an old factory, right? Old brick factories, literally all over the fucking place, you know, that are broken down, abandoned, you know. Some of them catch on fire, you know.
Cool. No, right.
You know, none of this out with the old, in with the new shit, you know. That.
I think I'm gonna go offline here, but
okay.
First of all, I want to say that I'm definitely rooting for Bernie Sanders, and that's not because I just live in Vermont. I believe he's the only one that can dramatically change this country, because it definitely needs dramatic change, in my opinion. But yep, that's Bullinator. You still there?
Yes, he is. He's playing hard to get.
Okay, apparently Bullinator has stepped away.
Huh.
Grampy, you want to give a shout out to your channel there?
Yeah, if you love the lulls, man, come to Grampy Lobster's channel. We like to have fun with Von Helton. We like to have fun with Fat Elvis Travels, and seems like Robbie Battle likes to have a little fun with me too. You know, he fucking unfriended me for like the 8th time because, you know, after on 420, I like on Facebook, people are having all the 420 jokes and all that stuff. Well, the day after 420, right, he posts this meme, right, of a guy pointing to himself. He goes, "This guy can pass the drug test on 421." And I wrote, and, you know, and he goes, "Hey man, I don't fuck with you. I don't say shit about your comments and everything, man. You shouldn't do you know. I was just pointing out, you know." And I wrote, and, right? and he got all upset. But you know, he gets upset about a lot of shit, you know, and then makes a video about me after I called Robbie hates lobsters, you know, because he's like he done friend me, and then he instant message me and friend request me and go, "I know, man, I should have thicker skin, you know. I really feel embarrassed, you know. because I was in a hangout not too long ago, right, where he had blocked me or unfriended me, and then somebody said something about Robbie Battle, and he came into side chat, right, and he goes, "I really feel stupid," and all that shit, and then he knows what I post, right, and he knows that I'm a sarcastic guy, right. He doesn't understand sarcasm. He'd understand, I mean, who I am, what I do, and stuff like that. He goes, just because I don't say negative things about your comments, why do you gotta always make negative comments about mine? I'm like, I don't fucking hardly even comment on his shit, and then he gets all upset when I make a few comments and everything. So Robbie Battle hates. I mean, I met Robbie Battle through the Geek Room, when he used to make videos, when Robbie would make videos like, I don't want to be friends with the Geek Room, and plus, he also makes comments sometimes. He doesn't understand why people fuck with Von Helton, right? And have comments about Von Helton, where Von Helton thinks that Sandy Hook was a hoax. He thinks the Boston Marathon bombing was a hoax, So in my mind, Robbie Battle supports Sandy Hook hoaxers and things like that, So, if he wants to make another video about me, about how I'm an old, angry, white guy, with long hair and stuff, I can call him a bald, fat fuck again, and but he's left YouTube more times than Von Helton has claimed that he's going to win the lottery and sue all the trolls. So
Yeah, good luck with that.
he's still going to turn me into the military because I questioned his, yeah. But that's
David?
pretty much it. If you like the lulz, if you like what I do, he says my intros are too fucking long, and I'm like, well, then don't fucking watch it, Bite me, whatever. But yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want to. If not, don't. And I do have a PayPal. If you'd like to find out about my PayPal, just ask me. Because I don't know. But because I am poor.
Yeah. Bullinator, you want to give a shout out to your channel or any show?
Yeah, I've got a personal Patreon for those who like my production. I'm also looking for new shows to try to produce. In addition to the Non Sequitur show, which is the other thing that I'm going to show. It's on 8 o'clock. Actually, it's kind of between 8 and 9 now. It's bouncing around weekdays. And actually, it's every day. We do something different. Sundays, this weekend was a little bit off because of Faithless Forum, so we didn't do anything today. But normally we have Katie Paulson from Without a Crystal Ball on to do what we call the Smoking Nun. So,
the Smoking Nun.
Yeah, if you've noticed our icon, it's a picture of a nun smoking a cigarette, right?
Oh, I thought it was kind of a genre in fucking like on Pornhub,
Right. Well, we do the Smoking Nun instead of the Smoking Gun. When basically it's stupid news, and then we have usually a topic of the week. Like it's been Jilly Juice a couple times. It's been
Jilly Juice guy.
It's been Jilly Juice. It's been
urine therapy,
anti-vaxxers, people like Gwyneth Paltrow, So, but that's the Smoking Nun, and we do Flatter-Day Night Fights, which is
Flat
Earth on Saturday, and then throughout the week we kind of do things bouncing between controversy and informative. So.
Hey, let me ask you a question. When you brought up the pee shit, right? And I know it's all bullshit because, I mean, if who hasn't been in a bathroom or somewhere that smelled like piss, but so it's so attractive anyway. But what do they claim is the science behind drinking pee or rubbing piss all over your face? What do they say is the science? Is it like wasted minerals and vitamins that they replenish your body with, or what?
Well, yeah. That's what they're saying, because when your filters fit me, I can't even talk. When your kidneys filter that stuff, it's because it's water soluble. It comes out urine because it's water soluble. So you're getting rid of excess. You don't need it, but
Right.
at some point you won't have an excess and you will need it. So their thinking is you just put it back in and let it balance. But then the problem with that is your kidneys are going to be working overtime to keep that balance. Your kidneys are what balance your pH. Other things don't balance your pH. If you try to change your pH, like with jelly juice,
Yeah.
you're really going to screw yourself up.
Oh yeah, they said that's a quick way to. The first time I heard of jelly juice, he was on Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil was even like, you know, yeah, I watch Dr. Phil at times, but I just thought that whole thing was just. I thought it was a joke at first, right? But yeah, I mean, the whole thing about the piss, you know, I was like, what the fuck? It's piss. You know, it's like, what do they do? Eat their shit too? You know, I mean, do these piss drinkers, do they eat their own shit?
I hope not, because that's a good way to kill yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, drinking your own piss isn't exactly healthy either. You know what I mean?
No,
and I'm not a scientist.
At least from the source, piss isn't typically it's typically close to sterile. I mean, it's not sterile. There's people that want to say it is, but it's not.
It is good for jellyfish things. So I hear.
That might be the only thing it's good for. Like, it's like your body's getting rid of shit. Don't try to put it back in your body.
Well, yeah. The first time I ever heard of a piss drinker, when I used to listen to Howard Stern years ago, and when he had his old TV show, and on the radio and on TV, and he had this guy that swore that he drank his own piss, and he came in with a jar, right, and he would like barely stick it to his lips, and I'm like, there's nobody out there fucking drinking their piss. What was it, 15 fucking years later, man? There's a whole goddamn parade of idiots. I mean, just as dumb as the flat earthers, you know.
Well, we had a flat earther that drank his own piss on, allegedly Dave, about maybe a little over a year ago now.
Did he do it on the internet?
No, he was talking to he was talking to Godless Engineer, I think. Yeah, he was talking to John, and it's John and Casey were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like some of those shows. Like, I've watched Godless Engineer. I watched some of these shows when they'll have like some really weird people on, right? And I gotta give him credit, because instead of just like flat out laughing at the motherfucker, you know, going, you drink your piss, you know, ugh, you know, they'll actually try to talk to him, or flat earthers, you know, or anti-vaxxers, or, you know.
Well, anti-vaxxers scare me, because that's actually dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've liars.
I've got some people that on Facebook that I'm not sure if they're anti-vaxxers, but they're like really way into this fucking health food shit, the keto diets, and this is bad for you, and this is bad for you, and everything. Literally anything that's not totally organic and grown in your own yard is totally fucking bad for you. Processed meat, you know, McDonald's, and your cereal has pieces of metal in it or some shit, you know. You know, if you eat canned chili, I mean, I like chili dogs, man, you know. I mean, there's all these things, or like all this beef, and you know, it's like, fuck, God, who the fuck wants to eat like grass and fucking, you know, you can make things taste really good, you know, and it's like, ugh. People want it. You see, that's the thing about a lot of these healthy fuckers now, you know, the ones that they talk about organic for years and years. People wanted convenience, right? People wanted to be able to preserve food, right? So it was given to them, right? And the next thing, you know, it's like, well, this is making our kids fat, you know. It's like McDonald's didn't make your kid fat. You made your kid fat by feeding your kid McDonald's every day and not having your kid going outside and like being active and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get fat until I became sedentary, which was after I got out of the military. I was a skinny ass kid because I went outside and played and drank from the hose and ran around because we lived in the country.
You drank from the hose? I mean, all that fucking lead in the water you drank out of a hose?
Oh yeah.
My God, why isn't your nose and your eyes, like, oh my God, you drank out of a hose? I've had people tell me, I would never let my kid drink out of a hose. I'm like, what kind of parent would let their kid drink out of a garden hose? It's like, what the fuck do you mean? My kids only drink bottled water. It's like, well, that the bottled water, a lot of it, it comes right out of the spigot.
Yeah.
Packaging makes people stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, it's sugar free, man. Hey, look, it's fat free. I can eat a whole box of this,
It's gluten free. Gluten is another thing. Gluten free, seriously, if you're not allergic to gluten, you don't need to be gluten free.
Right.
Gluten free is only if you're actually allergic to gluten, and that's a very specific allergy. That if you are allergic to the gluten, you will know, and people around you will know. It's not something you can just say, well, I think I'm allergic to gluten. No.
Yeah.
It's anaphylactic. So
it's like a vegetarian, trying to sue a fucking restaurant because the soup they had a beef base broth to it, and it made them sick.
All right. Just real quick, I'm gonna shut this off real quick, but before I do,
Okay.
doing my usual crap. This has been the Atheist Ranger. This has been my April sub hangout. And before I go, I don't know why I keep forgetting to say this after every show. I do have a PayPal that later I will put down in the description of this video. But I've been meaning to tell people that you can donate or not. But if you do donate, I guess the only reward I have is that if you donate anything over $10, I will respond to a video of your choice.
Right to the kitty.
Hi, kitty. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been my April sub hangout. Please like, comment, or subscribe. And have a good night.